Good morning or good afternoon, depending on your time zone. My name's Dante, and I am joined in the booth today by my buddy Drosy. Drosy, how you doing this morning?
I'm good if I'm awake at this lovely hour of a Saturday morning for those of us in North America. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Looks like we're accidentally doing co-op, but we'll get that switched. This is week 2, and we've got open for you guys between the spoilers and major mistakes. Both of these teams, 1 and 2. Drosy, tell us a little bit about these guys.
Yeah, this is a really tight division, the Lost Woods division, and every team in the division has at least one win and one loss. So you want to milk a win for all it's worth here. And in fact, Major Mistakes' one win came against the spoilers earlier this week. Tedo beat Zelga Desan. So this is where the spoilers tries to, either get some revenge or Major Mistakes gets a leg up in the division. It'll be interesting. We also have quite an international match here for you. We've got Ireland against Germany, if you're like a World Cup lover.
That's a fact I actually didn't know, so I'm glad you enlightened me on that one. But yeah, both of these guys, we're getting ready to start up here in just a moment, but this should be super exciting. And the thing about the league I love this year, or this season rather, there's no free wins. Some teams kind of have an execution advantage back in season 2, but that's kind of all gone out the window with this Invitational League.
Yeah, I mean, in the entire Invitational League, we only have 3 remaining undefeated teams and 3 remaining winless teams. So it's really great to see so many competitive matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like we are off to the races. Just a piece of heart inside a Link's house and in Sanctuary. So getting a little bit of even items, I guess, to start with, but different routing.
Yeah, I love when you see totally different starts in an open race.
Yeah, I mean,
to
for
see
the
which
viewer,
one pays off.
yeah, for the viewer, it adds, some spice of life. Obviously, when you look back, you could potentially say, "Oh, I forgot something here in front of Escape." A lot of runners really like to put off this Uncle route, and bundle it in whenever they do the castle. But there's a bomb drop from our green friend, and just hearts on that tree pole. Uncle coming up empty as well, and we'll get a peek at what's in this chest.
Or maybe we won't.
Well, we got a peek that a bottle is on Lumberjack. I doubt we get that.
You'd have to have progression on Sick Kid and the other 3 bottles locked behind that progression.
Yeah, that would be quite the adventure if that happened, and I'm really hoping for our sake and these guys' sake that's not the case. But so let's see, Dr. Martio, another heart piece there, laying in the mushroom spot of Lost Woods. Gonna take a plummet down this hole and see what we're gonna find. Another heart piece, very healthy seed early on.
Not healthy enough to actually give us another heart container yet.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting close with that. I'm sure we'll find at least one more heart piece over here in Kakariko. That's, with 2 bombs, unfortunately no money, so hopefully some money pops up for Marty as well. Otherwise, we may be a little short on our bottle vendor check today.
Well, at least we can do the bomb lock checks in Blind Sut and Cackwell on the way there.
Yeah, speaking of bombs, there were some. There's some money. Hey, there's even more money. I think we're all set now for bottle vendor.
Yeah,
we may have some left over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, given the bloopies back here. Ooh, and a first sword. Always nice when you get a sword in CAC and don't have to worry about where your first sword's coming from.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is actually probably good for Marty, considering he did the sync start. So whenever he does decide to check Uncle, as we see a map check, a really quick map check at that.
I saw a regular crystal in Eastern. I saw a red crystal in Hera. I did not catch Desert.
Well, it looks like our tracker sees a pendant over in Desert as we see 50 bucks pop up. Our tracker being literally Jin, not figuratively. Not figuratively. You know, that went better in my head. I'm sorry, but literally Jin, we do want to appreciate or say thanks for doing tracking for us.
And that health trend continues in the well as we are now all of a sudden up to 5 hearts. And the bottle vendor giving us a 200% ROI today. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I would invest in bottle vendor today over and over, you know, with those dividends. But Chicken Hut, another heart piece, not saving the chicken under that pot in the back. Rest in peace, that chicken. Maybe one day we'll see him freed.
I believe you have a teammate who reliably does that.
Oh, yeah. There's one in here to save, too. And speaking of being able to pick things up, that glove that just popped up for Marty might help Alex here pick that pot up. You know, he's struggling to kind of lock it out overhead with that lift.
So let's see what we got in the library today. Just some sticks. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Ether on the race game. And we're down to 2 bombs, so we're going to have to use one of them.
Yeah, finding a medallion early like this, you definitely don't want to leave that. I mean, race game isn't terrible to get back to, but it's definitely not the quickest. And, you know, it's better just go ahead and grab this. And that way, you know, when you find out, do I need ether? You've got it in your pocket just in case.
Yeah, and you sure don't want to be on top of Turtle Rock and suddenly discover that you need to reclimb the mountain.
Oh, absolutely. That would be abysmal. All right, so we're taking a save and quit here. You know, unfortunately, like, you know, you guys are seeing, we're just being able to watch Marty's side. Alex's stream should be back up here momentarily. But we are starting back here in Sanctuary. I assume this is going to be the back of escape play.
Yeah, and we have exactly 1 more bomb, so hopefully there's some bombs back here.
I mean, if there's no bombs and nothing good, you could always hard reset, save scum your bomb if you really need to. There's a small key, 20 bucks, and an ice rod. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to hang on to that ice rod.
A little bit surprised with that key he didn't go back to Dark Cross, and he also just didn't open that chest. We know it's a piece of heart, but how often do people not open the chest in Link's house?
I've seen people do it, so that could just be, I don't know, a little bit of nerves, maybe some, just an oversight there. I'm sure he'll get it eventually. But I do, you know, kind of going back to that Dark Cross play, at this stage, we don't know where the map is. That's still in play. That could be at Dark Cross. So since his next play seems to be Escape, I really like the idea of leaving that. He can come back and get it from like a Death Warp from Zelda Cell if we find out, you know, the map is down in the front part of Escape. But we're finally going to see this chest, and it's very disappointing. Just 10 arrows.
Oh, so it looks like we are getting the front of Escape now, and like you were saying, if we don't turn up the map, then we don't need to go to Dark Cross.
Yeah, this is kind of when you don't Uncle Route to start with. This is kind of what people look for. You get a weapon, and then you get to do Uncle plus Escape all at one time. And you kind of just have to hope that there's not something like a hammer, a sword, boots, you know, something like that at Uncle that could really put you at a disadvantage slightly early on.
And having found that key in the back already, we don't need to worry about the weird key logic of front of escape in open mode.
Yeah, escape does have some weird key logic, all things considered. But I mean, we've got that glove, we've got that key, like you mentioned. So all of this is completely on the table. We've got what, 2 more items and a map left to find. So I'm pretty sure Marty's going to be hoping for 2 items and then that dark cross skip paying off.
Well, that's an item he's hoping for as long as the lamp doesn't show up anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to deal out more damage is always nice too. So we're just like, what, 1 more sword away from Tempered? One of these days, Alex is going to be able to pick that pot up, though. I'm believing in him. He's still giving it a lot of effort.
And of course.
All right, so we are orphaning 1 item in Dark Cross. That's not into logic yet. No lamp, no fire rod. Finally getting the Link's House check from Marty. I applaud it, waiting 10 whole minutes. But I guess we're off to the eastern area.
Oh, buying bombs first. That makes sense. Speaking of bombs. Yeah, that's one of the times when you don't do South Shore immediately after those checks because, well, if you can't bomb your way through Mini Moldorm Cave, though he's actually going to circle around now and do it.
I've been wrong quite a bit, and like all the time. So here we are again with me being wrong. I said Eastern, but it was just that bombs play. So we're going to get a peek at the dam. There's 2 items here, and then I'm not going to say where he's going to go next because I don't know. I may say Mini Moldorm, and he'll go to Agina. We'll have to find out together.
That's true. You do need a bomb for each, so either way, he needed to buy those.
Hey, just $20 inside the chest of the dam. And then we have to do this, what feels like it takes forever, just to go to the back, pull switch, wait for this to open up and the water to move across the screen, and suddenly there's no water outside and we can see what the item is.
Well, by the time we get to the Dark World, we'll have seen all the pieces of heart and won't have to worry about them turning up there.
Yeah, I always joke about not wanting to get 20 hearts, and at this rate, I think we'll have 20 hearts before we get Dark World access, like you were saying.
Well, except that, the visible ones like that one and the one at Mushroom Spot, we just skipped over.
All right, Mini Moldorm's got $20, a blue mail, 20 more bucks, $50, and $20. So I see a trend. Saving and quitting from here. Interesting play, not heading over to Ice Rod Cave. A lot of runners do like to make that play. Did have Zora money. Could have done the fake flipper over there, but I guess maybe this is our eastern area play now.
And the glove also puts Zora in logic, so even though the game doesn't make Zora any more or less likely to have progression based on how much money you have, it is entirely possible that Zora has progression based on the glove putting him in logic.
All right, so here's Saha's closet. 10 arrows, a moon pearl, and a piece of heart. So we are a lamp from our dreaded play that chat likes to see, or we're a hammer away from just being able to cruise into the Dark World and have a good time.
Or we're mitts away from somewhere in between. Hey, and there is Alex back.
Boy, we are zoomed in. I love it. This is hot. So he's got the blue mail as well, headed into the backside of Eastern. So I guess on Marty's side, we're going to see what we missed while we've been away. All right, the ever-useful compass in the first chest. You cannot complete any... I mean, no, I'm joking. Like, compasses, honestly, in open 7-7, completely useless. Just one of the dungeon items from the vanilla game. But here we go with the right side of Eastern, as well as the vanilla big key chest. Looks like that's where the big key is going to be today.
A big key in the big key chest? I never would have guessed.
I feel like it's almost always that way in Eastern. You never really get a good, fast Eastern, in my opinion. Big chest today is a piece, a full heart container, not just a piece. All right, so our trackers pointed this out to us, and chat has too. Looks like Alex has mitts. And I don't really know where he got them. Oh, wait. That's where he got them. There they are. I promise I didn't know it was going to pop up. I didn't know where they were. All right, so looks like we're still trying to get some things corrected on Alex's stream, so thanks for hanging with us. We're going to get that big key over here on Marty's side. All right, there's that big key for Marty. So off we go. We know this is a heart container, but I'm sure a little extra help right now, even though we have blue mail, is something that we're not going to turn down. All right, so with those mitts, looks like we are going to start here at Sync and probably head on into the Dark World via the big old rock at Kakariko Village.
Right, now the question is, you know, where is that hammer to fully put Aga-1 out of logic? Or, not out of logic, out of necessity.
Yeah, there are ways around it since we know we don't really need that item. The question is, you know, are these runners going to pull that out? Will they have to pull that out? We'll kind of have to wait and see. Looks like we got a 5-6 over at Pod. I think I saw pendants at Meyer. Was that Swamp as well, or did I missee that?
It was Meyer and Thieves.
Ah, okay.
So doing a front of Skull Woods check, which has progression more often than anyone would like to admit. That was not progression.
Yeah, there's a certain ladder admin, or ALTTPR ladder admin, that says never skip Skull Woods. And every time I skip it, I get burned. And every time I go there, there's nothing there. So I think he's onto something.
But there are 2 items right off the bat, so we just need a key to not have to save and quit out of here, and we're good.
Ooh, got a big key. Still have another opportunity to get a small key. Now, it is not guaranteed here in V31 Advanced Logic anymore. This chest used to be, in older randomizer versions, a guaranteed small key no matter what. So we'll have to see if it's going to be, like a map, compass, or a small key today. And it looks like it is a small key, so bailed out.
Yeah. Well, one thing is Mothula can't have a small key, so the odds were pretty good that that was going to be a small key. So now we'll get to see what's in the Village of Outcasts.
And since we're in the area, it looks like we're going to get a peek at Bumper Cave Ledge. It looks like, I think that was arrows, so...
I think that was arrow singular.
Oh, well then. We're definitely not picking that up. All right, $20 there in C-shaped house. Alex is on the move yet again. Has the Smith in tow.
And somewhere like mushroom and flippers.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be in this area. So that might be, a little spoiler of what's to come. See, there's flippers. I thought about being like, they'll probably be in this chest. But... I didn't think I'd get that lucky like I did earlier with Mitts.
Well, meanwhile, Stumpy had the lamp, which does make me wonder if Hammer's on the east side of Dark World and the seed is expecting Aga for logical progression.
Well, actually, at this point, we've got flippers, so we could go north Dark World and swim across. We wouldn't even need to bomb jump.
You're right, yeah. Flippers does kill Aga.
The only thing...
Hammer...
Yeah, I think we're on the same page here. But yeah, about Pyramid Fairy, but there it is.
No,
there's Hammer.
Pod for 5-6.
Oh yeah, that is true, but we just found Hammer in Hype Cave, so,
Right.
all worries are now gone. We can, play this seed nice and comfortably. Hammer, we got another safety. That was probably one of the biggest hammers I've ever seen. But here we go. I guess we're going to the back. Oh no, we don't have a mirror. So, okay, this is an interesting way of getting out of here. Makes sense. Had quite a bit of health and blue mail, so it would take quite some time to do a death warp. But just getting those first 4 and getting out of here, I like the play here from Marty. And it's going to be the right one, too, I think, just because of where the hammer showed up. All right, here is the Smith chain, just 10 arrows from the blacksmith. And we'll taking a save and quit there on Alex's side. We'll see what his play is next.
Meanwhile, wow, it looks like Alex had never been to the back of Escape, so he's going to be getting his Ice Rod here.
All right, so that's where our mushroom showed up over in the dig game.
And we'll also see if Alex does Dark Cross. Yes, it looks like he is. It is now in logic with that lamp. And Dr. Marty is also thinking of Smith Chain here.
Yeah, this is always a tough decision to make. No mirror, no hammer. There is the likelihood of hammer showing up here potentially since, he's not in the know of where it's at. But mirrorless Smith Chain always feels bad. Just a shield, though, in Dark Crawl, so that is good news for Marty. He may go back. I don't really know what his tendencies are. Hopefully, for his sake, he doesn't, though. All right, so making another play here from Alex's side. Back into the Village of Outcasts area. This is the Hype Cave play where we get our hammer, our 50 bucks, and our cape from Marty. So taking that save and quit, probably going to go turn the Smith in, and we'll see what his decisions are from there.
And we now get a view of Alex's full screen.
I like it. I like it a lot. Keeping this in mind, too, I don't think Alex has done front of escape when suddenly we're in Skull Woods, but there's 20 bucks. He's still sitting on that fighter's sword.
And looks like he'll be taking the long route through Skull Woods to find that key to get out as well, but hey, at least he'll get half magic for his trouble.
You know, this Smith overall on Marty's side is really going on a journey here. You don't normally see the Smith follow you all the way to the Waterfall Cave. Just a heart container and a heart piece. And looks like we're going to get the Zora.
I was just going to say, at least we know that all that time he spent as a frog taught him how to swim.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you don't have to find like a second set of flippers to have a follower there. Hey, look, we might need that. That's a Quake medallion on that ledge. So Quake could be... That's kind of a good thing here for Marty, being able to bundle this in.
Only thing is with no mirror, we've kind of orphaned Catfish.
Yeah, that always kind of feels bad, but hey, there's our first bottle. We definitely do not have to do Aga now for that item, which is good. So now we can check Sick Kid. You know, Marty will be able to knock that out as well, instead of kind of orphaning that.
It also means we could potentially do a potion glitch. Oh, and it turns out you were right about arrows plural on Bumper Ledge. But yeah, we can do a potion glitch in pod potentially, depending on how Dr. Marty wants to route the seed.
Yeah, we could potion glitch it, mimic clip it, you name it. We could do it. Pod is a great dungeon. Sometimes it's terrible but great when it's a pendant too, but we'll have to find out, or wait to find out today. And you mentioned Catfish. It looks like Alex is headed over to Catfish now, so we're going to get that checked to see. Meanwhile, we're about to see what Sick Kid has for us today, just $20, so nothing of value there.
Robbing the piggy bank again. Sheesh. I was just thinking with Smith's chain here, given where the hammer was, we have not seen hammer pegs yet.
All right, so Marty taking a save and quit. We'll see where he goes next. Meanwhile, Catfish about to throw us an item. 3 bombs. Nothing of value there either. So we've got Lamp, but we don't have Mirror. So, and we've got Mid, so we can't really get to Dark Mountain. We can get to the mountain, though. That's an option. It's only, what, two checks, and you can see the third at this point, unless we get a hook shot or a Mirror?
Yeah, that's right. So, probably not worth it unless we get pretty desperate. I wonder if Dr. Marty's going to be checking the pod area, and it's also interesting that Alex walked all the way back from Catfish. That I feel like a save and quit to Link's house and using the portal there would have been faster.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Looks like they're both going to be converging on this pyramid item about the same time. Just $20, so nothing of value. I guess we're getting ready to get a pod play. What do you think, Drosy?
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, we're in the weird spot of, do you go for the one or two outliers on the mountain and hope for the best, or do you go where the item density potentially is? And I mean, honestly, even if we got an item that logically locks us out of pod, we, like you said earlier, we can get to the back, via potion glitching or other methods, but it could be some form of progression like a hook shot, and then all of a sudden we're on the mountain.
I'm just thinking, how is it that Dr. Marty went to Hype Cave but didn't check Stumpy in the process?
Did he actually skip it?
Or else his tracker's behind.
I think his tracker might be behind. We've had a lot of behind-the-scenes hiccups going on. One of the teammates there, Zelga, in chat, is saying that Marty has lamp, so...
Okay, so it's...
We're okay.
Now the tracker's caught up. I was gonna say, we'll find out soon enough when he goes into a dark room.
Look, it's Saturday morning, it's too early, but hey, there's a small key, so we're logically going into Palace of Darkness today.
Assuming we find 2 more keys in front on the non-bow locked part.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Palace of Darkness bridge chest. Gonna be a big key. So that's one of our potential 2 items that can be in the front chests of Palace of Darkness. There's at least 4 small keys in the front, including right side. Sometimes there's 5. That's always a weird feeling when there's 5, especially when you kind of, use a key to get a key. Marty dropping down here, getting a small key, and unfortunately Alex is realizing I need a small key to open that door.
So Marty burning down a little bit of magic so he can use that potion to do the bottle glitch. Don't you just love, how well put together V1.0 is that, okay, walk left while drinking a potion and you'll unlock the camera. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, that's thanks to those super tiles. Sometimes they do weird stuff, but there is another small key and another small key. So there is the potential for an item or another small key in that vanilla big key chest.
And if the vanilla big key chest has an item, then the back of pod is actually logically bow locked. Oops.
Sometimes those beetles just don't play nice. I've been in this situation myself, and it just feels bad. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Oof, unfortunately taking another hit. Those beetles just relentless today, but luckily that bomb's gonna stun them.
Sometimes you just have to cue the Benny Hill music in this room.
All right, and suddenly I see 3 bombs in the turtle room chest.
Ooh, and yeah, we got a hammer yump.
All right, just a heart container inside that big chest. There's a map in the bottom of the maze. I do like how Marty's routing this, given no mirror situation, has the key. There's a red mail. Going to be able to get out of here pretty quickly and easily, not having to worry about a death warp. All right, and it looks like Alex has left pod. We'll see why he decided to leave here in just a moment. There's a small key in the basement, thing of bombs, and I think that's it. Oh no, we have opened a chest. I'm sorry, we've opened a door, so we need to go check this out.
Right, we don't know what was in Vanilla Big Key Chest. Okay, so Vanilla Big Key Chest has something that's not a small key, but I don't think we've seen the compass yet, have we? So that's either in Vanilla Big Key Chest or on Helmasaur.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But Dr. Marty decided not to go back for it.
And this looks like a play up the mountain here. I'm not sure if we're going to actually see this on Alex's side. This would be a new check with our friend, the man under the bridge.
Now, it's worth noting that Vanilla Big Key Chest is also logically bow-locked because of the key layout.
All right,
Yeah,
so what's old man got? 10 arrows. So we've got one more chest we can get here. I'm trying to think. You know, neither one of these guys have gone to the back of Thieves Town yet.
Oh, I was just gonna... addressing chat. Yeah, map was in the dark maze. We definitely got that, but I'm pretty sure we didn't see compass.
All right, Alex looks to be headed up to Zora, going to be able to get his Quake medallion. Marty showing us Spec Rock, just $300.
And having already paid the fish, I don't think he's getting that.
You know, I didn't even think of this. Spike Cave. And that's exactly where we're headed right now. That's fully in logic for us, so we're about to see what's there.
Right, though having actually used his magic potion... Oh no, he has half magic, never mind.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Ooh, that's a spicy find up there. A mirror in Spike Cave. That's something else. So now we've got mountain access. Not the good way, not the conventional way of having a hook shot, but we can go all around this thing now, just really slowly.
Yeah, because we still don't have boots either, so Spiral Cave's gonna be fun.
Well, this is good for Marty. Marty will be able to kind of just route basically everything in, check everything out, and get all the intel he needs for, you know, Turtle Rock. He'll know if he's got his medallion requirement. Hopefully, you know, if I'm these runners, I'm kind of thinking, hopefully we don't find a flute. As we see a mushroom turn in over on Alex's side, just $20.
So, to respond to chat, the cape drains enough faster than the blue cane that for Spike Cave to be in logic, if you have the cape but not the blue cane, logic requires you to have some form of magic extension, either half magic or a bottle, but we have both, so it was in logic.
All right, so there's one item and our big key. That blue boomerang kind of serves us no purpose. We can stun enemies now, or some enemies. But off we go to climb this the intended way. If you've been watching a lot of races recently, you've probably seen a new trick called Harapot. You need hookshot for that. that's kind of the one essential item for that trick. And since we don't have hookshot, we're climbing it the way the devs intended.
And it looks like Alex is going to join Marty up here. The small key, something you don't want to see when you're climbing Harrod Tower.
Yeah, luckily getting bailed out, though, that second item showing up at this point, you know, it's a map or a compass in the bottom, and the opposite one's going to be on Moldorm. So just, you know, clear this dungeon out, get your crystal. It'll be the first crystal of this seed for either runner, but, you know, an essential one nonetheless.
And I'm thinking there's got to be progression on Dark Death Mountain. I mean, maybe not. It could be on Graveyard Ledger Cave 45 now that we have that mirror.
Very well could be. I gotta say, Marty was scaring me, just kind of chilling on that pixel right at that ledge of the double fall hole. But does get it done, finishing off Moldorm nicely and getting that first crystal.
I was just thinking, though, in terms of what items we need, with Mire and Desert both being pendants, we could conceivably have a fluteless, bootless seed on our hands.
We could. We could also, you know, like if I'm these runners, I'm really hoping, one, flute does not show up. I'm also hoping book does not show up. And then that way, I've got no access to desert, I've got no access to the mire area, and I don't have to worry about those pendant checks. The only one I'd have to potentially worry about would be Thieves Town, which, you know, we've seen one runner get the first 4 chests and hope for the best. Meanwhile, Quake is our Turtle Rock entry key today.
So that Zora area visit was absolutely necessary. Oh, I also realized with that mirror, we now have the front of Swamp open, and Hookshot's been having a way of being French vanilla lately.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a nice thing for chat. You know, chat likes seeing stuff like that, in my opinion. But, you know, too much of a good thing can be bad. So I'm kind of hoping for these guys' sake we don't see that again. Super Bunny Cave's got 3 bombs and a cane. So that's a little interesting. There's potential to go into Turtle Rock here. It kind of depends on that first chest being a key or not.
Yeah, and if it is, then there's the old, how far down the rabbit hole do you go without the fire rod?
Yeah, for open modes like this, it's kind of a risk-reward scenario. It's a very rare play for that to work out, but, you know, sometimes that does happen.
And we are up here anyway, and we can't do Hookshot Cave. Don't even have the boots to get that first chest.
All right, there's our second shield of the seed. First one for Marty.
I think probably at this point you do at least go into Turtle Rock, get that first chest, hope to dear love that it is not a key and that you don't have to worry about whether you're going farther in.
Yeah, I like the idea of checking, you know, the 7 chests here in Paradox and kind of, you know, weighing my options after that. Just a green rupee and a red rupee, so $21 in the first 2 chests, 5 more to go. But I do agree, even if Fire Rod doesn't show up here, I think I probably go take a peek at it as far as Turtle Rock goes.
Yeah, if Fire Rod shows up, you're clearly full clearing Turtle Rock.
Oh, well, there's a nice thing and a bad thing. There's a flute and there's a tempered sword. So, I don't know, we may see him leave. Looks like he is getting ready to set up that bomb jump, so he may actually head into Turtle Rock.
That also means that Alex is going to finally be getting his Master Sword there. He's determined with the bomb jump.
Ooh, unfortunately taking a second fall. Is the third try the charm?
I mean, at a certain point, you just go outside and walk around.
I think sometimes it's just a matter of pride and getting it done, and I respect it. And he gets it done there on the third try.
Yeah, so depending on the key layout here, we could have progression in Mimic Cave or even as far as Laser Bridge.
Yeah, so what we are hoping to see, if you want to see him go further into Turtle Rock, this first chest over on the left needs to be a small key. And then the chain chomp chest also needs to be a small key. But we could get some progression here. We're about to find out.
Well, it looks like he is going down the rabbit hole.
And I don't blame him. You're up here. It's a long walk back without a hook shot. So if you're trying to be thorough, it's a very good play. This next chest, after we get the key from the pokey, is going to kind of determine how deep this rabbit hole is going to go. Oh boy.
The next question is the big key vanilla?
At least at this point, though, you mentioned Mimic Cave with having that mirror in hand. That is definitely on the table at this point. So either big key, like you were saying, is either vanilla on this lava island, or it's over on the right side and fire rod locked.
Yeah, so if the big key is not vanilla, Mimic Cave is the only other thing we can do in here. Definitely nice to have that red mail when the bunny beam hits you with these enemies that can give you quite a bit of damage.
Oh no.
So that opens up at least the big chest and crystal roller, and if either of those has a small key, then laser bridge.
This is... I haven't seen a TR in Open allow for this in quite some time. So as long as I'm the one not running it, I gotta say, it's a treat to see it once in a while.
And if we do have the fire rod on laser bridge, then chat will go absolutely wild.
Yeah, that would be just full-on bananas. But I've seen it before, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it again.
There was the all-important single arrow.
All right, time for the big chest. That's a map. Okay, so there's at least either a key or 2 items over on that right side in front of TR. So it can't just be a map compass combo. And we've got our small key, so Drosy, we're going to Laser Bridge, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this either. But either There's some important progression on Laser Bridge, or this seed is the biggest troll.
All right, so Laser Bridge, we have 4 chests. What are they going to be today?
Okay.
Well, there's a hook shot. That's important. 10 bombs. That hook opens up quite a bit.
I'm sure he'll do
20
hookshot
bucks.
cave while he's up here.
Yeah, probably. And there's our small key. So I want to say there's the potential of at least 1 item over on the right side. That hook, probably important. We can do hookshot cave now. We were discussing, those checks being off the table earlier. So the only thing you're really hoping for if you're Marty now is that Fire Rod is behind that hookshot.
Oof. Wait a minute. Why didn't he just go left and climb the mountain? What? Oh, right, because he has to go through that side. My bad. Paradox Cave always messes with me because I never remember which one's upper and which one's lower.
And indeed, it does look like Alex is back, which is a good thing. He's picking up his flute now, his Master Sword. And well, it looks like he's saving and quitting, not going into Turtle Rock.
So it's going to make or break the seed then, whether that hook shot locks the fire rod. And I think if you don't get the fire rod here, you basically have to do swamp.
Oh, there's our butter sword. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. At this stage, if I'm Marty, I'm going probably to activate my flute just to have it. But afterwards, I'm definitely going to swamp.
Speaking of activating a flute, that's what Alex is doing. Oh, and he picked up the red meringue somewhere.
All right, so Drawsey is going to have to refresh my memory. Maybe chat, maybe our tracker, literally Jen. Where was the red cane for Marty to have gotten it, yet Alex to have not gotten it?
It was in Super Bunny. Maybe Alex did get it because I would be kind of surprised if he didn't do Super Bunny while he was up there. But he did seem to just kind of leave after Paradox.
That's how it appeared to us, at least. Maybe he did do it.
It's on the tracker now.
Okay, so he does have it. He does have it. All right. I was a little confused, but, that's par for the course for me. This is the swamp play, looks like, over on Marty's side. Alex heading over to Hammer Pegs.
Which we have not yet seen. And he'll probably do Purple Chest while he's here, too. Well, we were saying about those vanilla pieces of heart. What do you think? Purple Chest gives us another bottle at this rate?
It's very possible. If we're going to go with that whole vanilla trend, but we'll have to wait and see.
We're going to get Cave 45 en route.
And there's old reliable there, the swamp small key, always in that chest in open mode. The thing you can always count on.
Yeah, that's why we talk about there being 9 chests in swamp, even though there are actually 10.
Looks like just a piece of heart over there on the purple chest. So off we go to, I guess, the mire area now. All right, so we're going to get a peek at that. There's a few checks here.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Gina yet. So, unless Alex did that while his stream was frozen.
All right, so Mire Shed, just a piece of heart and a second piece of heart. So if you're in the Dr. Marty camp, things are looking okay for the moment. Looks like we do have an ether requirement, as our tracker has marked for us, for Mire, so you can get in. For Alex's, but I guess, problem here, unless boots show up, we know where Hook is. He can't get in without one of those.
Hey, it's nice when the big key shows up there and you can check the big chest right now, and it's garbage.
I mean, that's kind of good. When you see it be garbage like that, you know you can... There's something going to be over here on left side. So with Kane in hand and all the new tech that we've got now, definitely worth going to go ahead and do this diver down setup.
So let's see, we had a vanilla piece of heart in Mire Shed, we had a vanilla piece of heart in Aegina. Interesting that he's doing the bomb setup, not the Samaria setup.
I mean, it all depends on what you're comfortable with, for sure. So, looks like he does get it on the second try. And it looks like Alex may be making the play into Desert. And I'm not sure if we've seen Desert Ledge either, so we may get a peek at that. All right. So a fire rod's there. I guess that flute was required.
Depending where the book is.
Yeah, a little interesting. Unfortunately for Marty now, he's going to have to do TR twice, or at least go back into it. There's our magic powder, so magic bat now in play.
And we can safely do the mushroom turn in too.
Ooh, but there's a bow. So that's our first one. I think we're in go mode? Sans boots, potentially?
No mode.
Yeah, well, I mean, I say we collectively as the chat and comms and the crew. We know where stuff is, but they don't. I guess they still have to find it.
And there is that 1 in 22 chance of GT Big Key on Torch.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat that too much, honestly.
You could ask Fear Agent about that 1 in 22 chance. Was that during Season 2 in the playoffs, I think, where he had what looked like a jet seed, and at a little over an hour he went into GT... Okay, now we're in no mode.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we've got our boots. No big deal. That's really good for Marty. That is hook locked. So, luckily he'll be able to do TR faster the second go around.
And hopefully that flute will lead him to the Mire area. And hey, Alex is back on Death Mountain, so he might be doing that TR dive now.
And with Butter Sword, this fight fairly straightforward and easy. I guess kind of at this point, the storylines of what we're going to need to see. When will Marty head to the desert area? And I'm going to assume it might be soon, given what he's done and what he has left. The other thing is going to be, will Alex head into Swamp and do left side, especially if the second bow is locked deep away somewhere else?
Would be kind of funny if, for all that, the second bow is in pod big key location and they never get it.
I mean, that's a potential as well. It looks like we are going to go ahead and get the clears for Pod and Eastern. It makes total sense here. You need the crystals. They have to be done. Fire Rod's not going to make it any faster. I think Zelga also said that in chat. There's a book, so that's over on the right side of TR. That may lead Alex down a rabbit hole.
Well, he'll probably check Ether while he's up here. Since he already had desert access, I don't know how much more of a rabbit hole it can take him down.
I mean, I can dream. He may have to go dive deep into the Bombos tablet.
But at that point, you're already right near Swamp.
Yeah, I know. Let me have this one, Drossi. I made a mistake. Let me have it.
So I was thinking also that the double dip we're about to see of Eastern is mandatory because we got the mitts out of there the first time, and as far as we know, both of our bows were locked by the mitts.
Yeah, it was.
We will now also find out the answer to that burning question of where is the pod compass?
All right, so here we go with the Helmosaur fight. Just need 17 hammer smashes on that face to break it off. And then afterwards, we can expose that jewel and get a couple of gold sword slashes in, and down it goes.
Yeah, you don't see Buttersword Helma very often, but boy is it fast when you do.
All right, so looks like we've got our last item there, and a compass is inside that chest that we left. So that's, I guess good for both of these guys.
And also, given the bows, unless, Trinex has the second bow, Alex is not going to be in go mode, so he'll do Hookshot Cave as soon as he finishes here, so he'll at least get his Tempered Sword. And then the real question is just, what happens first? Alex getting a bow or Dr. Marty getting the fire rod? I just realized something really disappointing. With Meyer being a pendant, we're not going to get to see the spooky glitch on Halloween.
I mean, I'll take it. We don't have to do Meyer. That's a plus. But yeah, it's a little sad if you're a big Spooky fan. All right, so here we go. Armos Knights. It's, 8 arrows if you're good, and looks like he's got the setup. So we're gonna let him do his thing, and looks like Alex has his hook and is going to be able to go ahead and fight Trinex.
And at his health level, he is taking that safety exit. I don't blame him.
All right, the question now is, where will Marty go? I kind of think it's going to be, okay, I'm wrong. The trend continues. I thought he was going to go to desert for density, but here we are doing this mushroom check, and I don't blame him, kind of leaving this here for a bit.
I'm a little surprised once Alex got that final item, he didn't take a death just for the health refill.
You know, I think that's kind of a pride thing. I'm the same way. Sometimes you just don't want to take a death. Here's the play from Marty over into the Meyer area.
So he will be in go mode very shortly.
All right, and Alex is going to have to be a little careful here. Down to half heart.
So at 104.40 roughly, that is go mode for Dr. Marty.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, all things considered, with the way this seed is panned out.
Oh, and I just realized that, you know, since we never found Bombos, that's also our first access to ice.
Oh no. Unfortunately, Alex.
Well, that's what happens with the pride thing of not taking the death for the health refill. But yeah, it's definitely Dr. Marty's race to lose at this point. So yeah, you don't think about having 3 crystals locked by the fire rod. You usually think of 2 crystals, Skullwoods as we're seeing here, and Turtle Rock as we're seeing on Alex's side. But yeah, the runners are lucky that that late fire rod and not seeing Bombos has kept them out of ice, so they both get a go mode Ice Palace. As Alex takes his second shot at Trinex here. Once he gets out and goes into Hookshot Cave and gets his temper, he's gonna be like, dope. And Dr. Marty takes down Moth with the Butter Sword, which is not something you can actually do in the vanilla game, because Butter Sword and traps do the same damage, so since they didn't want Moth to be injurable by those trap tiles, well, he's not injurable by the Gold Sword either. And the devs for Rando solved this problem by making the Gold Sword do tempered damage to Moth. So here we finally see ice, nicely go mode. We have the cane. We'll just do icebreaker glitch, I'm sure. Alex heads into Hookshot Cave. Will get his tempered here. But yeah, quite a difference. Alex is still only at 2 crystals because, well, he can't do Eastern or Pod without that bow. He can only just now do Swamp, having gotten the hook shot, and he figured the Fire Rod would correctly that the Fire Rod was sending him to Turtle Rock, so he hasn't done Swamp or Ice yet. But he is going to check Ether Tablet. It would be kind of funny if this has the other bow. Nope, just some money. So I think we're going to see the Swamp play from Alex now. Hopefully he does do left side in here. As Dante said earlier, getting that dungeon item out of the big chest means you know at least one item's on left side, so there's no reason not to do it, especially since we have Diver down to make it a bit faster.
Yeah, there's definitely more draw to it. So hopefully for his sake he does do that.
And Buttersword Cold Stare is fast Cold Stare.
For sure. Very nicely done there by Marty.
I think that was a piece of heart, but I couldn't actually see it in the exploding Cold Stare.
All right, and this is where we would have our 7th crystal if we got the Fire Rod beforehand, but that was kind of a nasty chain to get that Fire Rod, so we're going to have to run back through TR really quick, and then we'll get our 7th crystal.
Yeah, you hate to see such a disparity between the runners, but getting that hook shot early just made for so much easier routing, even if it meant double dipping TR.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since, Boots locked that as well. That was another thing that I think had some bearing, maybe not the whole bearing here, of Marty's, assumed lead at this point. You had more incentive to go to Swamp, full clear it, and, then Boots are in the back locked by that hook shot. The good news here is running back through TR, it feels like an eternity, but he entered around the 1:11:30-ish mark. It's really not that long to run back, all things considered. At least it's not like a full clear.
And as opposed to Alex struggling through on a Master Sword, Buttersword Trinex, which is what the game actually expects you to have, is a pretty quick fight.
Yeah, for sure. And since we've seen Turtle Rock, 3 times now? Drawsy, we're getting ready to get that 7th crystal. You want to talk to chat and tell them about the fun thing that they really enjoy doing here after we get the 7th crystal?
Yeah, so GT Basement has 22 locations, which we can now get to all of thanks to those boots. And one of them contains the big key, so we are giving away free internet points if you guess correctly. And we will start that game as soon as Dr. Marty gets Trinex exploding, let's say, just to give a little extra time since there's not going to be much before he enters GT.
Yeah, phase 2 exploding, not phase 1. So hold your numbers. I know people like to jump the gun, but hold your numbers till we get there.
I have to assume Alex is well on his way through Swamp at this point and might even be in go mode.
Yeah, very much a possibility. And it looks like Marty is going to get the 0 cycle here. No head pokes today.
Oh,
Nicely
you love
done.
to see
So,
that.
phase 2. All right, there it is. So this is going to be our 7th crystal. We'll see if we can't get that started.
Hey, I got my guess of 10 in without being sniped. That never happens. What are you guessing, Dante?
I threw in a number.
18.
I threw in 18. We'll see what happens. You know, I like to go 8 or 9 because that's not too terrible. But I saw both of those. I think were taken at the time, so I just went with that.
Well, it could work for you. A couple of days ago, someone sniped my usual guess of 10, and I wound up on 18, and it won.
All right, so here's the cutscene. We're gonna close this off as soon as we transition inside. Oh, baby.
Wow, that is some wonky graphics on Alex's side.
All right, just 1 is a small key, and 2 is a heart container. Since we did get that small key, it looks like he is going to go right side. Yeah, chat pointing this out. Drosty, we didn't get Spooky and Meyer, but you wanted some Spooky, and whatever those graphics are as far as the zoom, I think you got it. This is the biggest heart I've ever seen.
I don't know, the color scheme reminds me a little bit of the Patriots logo.
Oh, one of those American football teams. All right, chest 3, piece of heart. Chest 4, 5 rupees. Chest 5, it's hard to count. And 6, all garbage.
Right, apologies, this is a European match. I shouldn't be assuming people know American football.
Number 7, the torch, is gonna be a small key. So off we go to the Dark Magician's room, as it's called. Also known as like the Stalfos room. 4 chests coming up here.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me that, like, the spoiler log calls it DM's room. And we are having spoiler log races in a few weeks, so the spoiler pilots will need to remember that when they see that in the log.
All right, that was 4 more. And that was what, number 10 or 11?
11, yeah.
No dice yet.
Plenty of keys, though.
And 12 is our lucky number today.
Lucky dozen. So congratulations to Quanos. And Zambi 1 and Humbug also. There's one of those rooms where silvers would have come in handy.
Yeah, I'm already having a little bit of trouble here, but gets it done.
Well, I like how he fired a warning shot into the wall when he entered that room.
Had to alert them that he was coming. All right, so this is the start of the gauntlet. And with Gold Sword, this should be pretty simple. Oh, nice arrow shot there on that Stalfos. Sniping him from a distance.
Oh, sure, now he's getting the arrow shots. He passes up those health refills, but he does have the powder, so I don't think health's going to be a problem here.
Yeah, half magic as well. Going to be able to use that butter sword and the fire rod here in tandem for, I about said Moldorm 2. This is land mode 2. I should check my game knowledge.
Tomato, tomato. Now he is going to have to be a little careful here, but he gets through without falling or getting hit by the fire bar.
Yeah, and half magic, he'll be all set here. Gonna wait this out. You don't want to go up those stairs on the same frame that the jingle of the door closing happens. If you do, we've talked about it a lot of times here, but if you're new, it despawns all the sprites, all the enemies inside of Ganon's tower, so you have to mirror and start it over, so that's kind of the safety play there. It's very rare that that happens, though.
But I have seen it happen in tournament play, and it is really unfortunate.
All right, we're going to continue to assume that Marty is doing a fine job, because he is, but we're going to assume that he is in the lead, just based off of the crystal count before Alex showed us how big his heart was over there. All right, so Agatu, we just got to get 6 hits on the evil wizard, and I believe that was 1.
Yeah, just getting singles so far. There's a double.
All right, and off we go to Ganon. With Butter Sword, this is going to be fairly simple. There are 4 phases to Ganon. Phase 1, 6 swipes with that Butter Sword. Phase 2, another 6 swipes. And then Phase 3, we just need 4 hits in tandem. And afterwards, we're going to have Phase 4, which is going to be 12 spin slashes. We don't have silver, so we're going to have to do silverless, as we call it here. So let's cheer him on. All right, so we're into phase 3 already. Very quick fight here with Buttersword. So there's one of our 4 hits here in phase 3. The floor is going to fall, and somehow the middle is just going to stay standing.
And Ganon's also going to tell us where those silvers were.
I kind of feel like they're going to be in GT. Oh no, they were in Mire. Interesting.
I mean, we did not touch any of the pendant dungeons, so I guess we saw the front of Thieves Town, but
yeah, I mean,
basically, there's a lot of stuff left in pendant dungeons.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, Front of Thieves doesn't even really feel like a pendant dungeon, even though technically it is. Just it's such a quick check and easy check to do.
There went the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 time, which Dr. Marty's teammate Zelgadison was able to achieve last week.
All right, and down goes Ganon for Dr. Marty. And with that sword in the air, that bridge is going to extend. So get your GGs in chat for Marty. And with that, we have an official time of 1:24:15, and that is going to be a first place finish for Marty. And I'm not sure when it happened, but we do have a forfeit from Alexhax. So GG's to Alex as well. We'll see if we can get these guys in here for an interview.
Yeah, it looks from race time like he forfeited about a minute after Dr. Marty finished, so we didn't miss much.
All right, and it looks like Alex is not going to join us for an interview, citing some internet trouble, and I can't say I blame him. It's totally understandable. But huge GGs to Alex for playing this. I do want to wish him luck going forward with the rest of the league, and we'll pull Marty in here in just a second.
So we have Dr. Marty Zero in here. GG.
Cheers, guys.
So, thoughts on that race? Because your finishing time was actually quite good despite the horrible routing required by the seed.
Yeah, I'm amazed that I got that time, to be honest, because I double-dipped, Pod and Turtle Rock? And then just sort of blundered my way into finding the myths in Spike Cave rather early, so that might have saved me, but yeah, that wasn't just me, right? That was an atrocious seed, wasn't it?
Yeah, everything was kind of in awful spots, if I'm being honest. Like, nothing was really... It was on the path, but it was, like, way out of the way, in a way. But yeah, I mean, you kind of blazed through this. It seems like you made all the correct calls. The seed, obviously, I guess, maybe wanting you to leave the mountain, go get your fire rod on, the desert ledge, but the play into Turtle Rock really worked out for you, I think, even though you had to go in twice.
Like, I think it was the play, to be fair, because the way the keys were laid out, it was almost screaming that the fire rod is in the back there somewhere, or at least the way to get the fire rod is through that way, because otherwise I'd be locked out of Turtle Rock, like, statistically speaking. But
right.
Then it showed up on the desert ledge.
I mean, I was one of the people here in chat that was cheering for hopefully a fire rod showing up, because every time you'd open a chest, it was more progression to take you further down the hole, so to speak, into Turtle Rock. And then the hook shot shows up. So we were kind of waiting to see, all right, is the fire rod going to show up behind hook shot? It's just a crazy turn of events.
Yeah, I figured it would be in the likes of Hookshot Cave or in Swamp Palace. Hence why I full cleared there, and thankfully the left side play there worked out for me. Thankfully I didn't skip it. I was awfully tempted to, from how Zelga was burned by left side swamp a couple of times in the last few races. But I decided to take the chance.
Yeah, no, that bow was nice, especially since we saw that the other one was in Mire.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going in there in a hurry.
Yeah, that was the one nice thing about the seed. You were really able to avoid all the pendant dungeons.
That was a nice for a change, actually. Yeah, I mean, I went to the front of Thieves Town, but I wasn't kind of forced back there. There was lots of other stuff I could have done before. I would have thought, right, I have to go and beat a pendant. So yeah, that worked out quite nicely. And I was going to be going into Desert Palace there first. I kind of tend towards the Pendant of Courage before I go to the others, but then thankfully the Pharaoh showed up.
Yeah, no, that worked out for you well, kind of saving any sort of trip to Desert and Swamp until the end. The other thing that worked out well, going back to the early race, you going into the front of Escape, which your opponent never did.
Oh, really? Right.
So he was down a sword the whole time.
I thought I got my Master Sword in the back of Escape.
Yeah, I meant down a sword upgrade the whole time.
Oh, so
but
he's
for
a Master
example,
Sword the entire time. Okay.
Yeah,
that was
so he
the
had to
incorrect
do like
word.
Master Sword Trinex, which was just a little bit slower than your Gold Sword Trinex.
Fun fact, that is the first time I've ever tried and succeeded the Zero Cycle with the Gold Sword. So
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't have cared if I lost the match after that, so I'm just chuffed that happened.
I mean, you made it
seemed
look like
a natural at it.
yeah, you
Like
made
a
it look like you've done it a lot.
I practiced it with Temper, but like I'd never done it with the quick swap, with the Gold Sword, with the quick movement, and I just thought, screw it, I'll give it a go.
So looking at the standings here, this is going to move your team up to 2-2. And I mean, obviously every division in the Invitational is stacked. That's kind of been the trend of, discussion throughout the league at this point. You guys have Triple Dino Disaster next week in the Casual Boots week. What are your thoughts for week 3? How do you guys feel taking on that team?
Well, I know this team is filled with awful stacked players. It's going to be a tough week. I'm not gonna lie, they're really, really good, and I've lost many's a weekly and daily race to them. We'll definitely give it a good shot, and I think we have a decent chance, but we're not under any illusions. These are, all of the races, all of the weeks are very, very tough, so we're gonna bring our A game anyway.
And they're also 2-2 at the moment, so it's gonna be a big week. If either of you winds up going up 4-2 by the end of the week, while the other's down 2-4.
That would be lovely, yeah. Although I can see just like another split week, so we end up 3-3 by the end.
That's probably the most likely outcome. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm saying, to be fair, with the standings and with the teams in here, I'd be happy to come out any week with splits, 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah, that's kind of been my attitude as a player. Is if we can, get a 1-1, then that's kind of a win in a way. Just the competition. But from the administrative side, we've been joking about, as tight as these standings seem to be right now, we may be getting use out of our tiebreaker policy and see how that goes.
Especially for the Invitational League, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last season, which was this year, we had a couple of 14-0 teams and quite a few 13-1 teams, and I feel like this time around we're going to be seeing a lot of division winners with only 11 or 12 wins.
Yeah, I could certainly see that happening very easily.
So
as the credits are rolling up, I got to say I do like your menu time there. Just 20 seconds. Making use of that quick swap. I'll ask real quick, how do you feel about quick swap being added into the league for this season?
I think it's it's good in that it'll make races much more fast-paced and interesting, and it'll add a new kind of dimension to skill to players, because there's some people now who are getting not screwed by it but are less used to it. And so it's really kind of sorting the people who are putting a lot of practice in to people who aren't getting as much practice. And I'm like a casual player through and through, but I've done a good few practice races getting used to the quick swap. Hoping I'm doing okay with it. And like 20 seconds is good, but I think Zelga will still be disappointed in me because he routinely gets under 10 when he does cross keys. So
Well, you didn't accidentally mirror out of any dungeon, so that's always good.
yeah, that's happened to be a few times in practices. So I have good negative reinforcement here for if that ever happens again.
All right, well, we can go ahead and get ready to wrap up. Drosy, any final
chat for not using Ice Rod on the castle guard?
Oh, that would have been nice. Yeah, I should have done that.
One of the few things you didn't have to look for this seed. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap here. Thanks to our runners again. Do give them a follow. And sorry about the technical difficulties on Alex's side.
And speaking of technical difficulties, I think the bots broke. Yeah, so I believe it is just as it is shown there. I believe it is the Dr_Marty_O. And it is just Alexhax for the for Alex as well. I've been Dante. It's been a pleasure calling this race. GG's again to both the runners, and congrats to Dr. Marty for getting the win for the spoilers. And we've got quite a few more races today. I'm really slow at pulling it up, but I'm pulling it up now. The next one is at 2:10. It's going to be Double Dippers versus But We Are Buddies on Speed Gaming 4. That's going to be at 2:10 Eastern Time. So that's in about a little over 2 hours. And we got a few more.
Simultaneously with that, we're going to have a race here on Speed Gaming 2, Team Hime versus I Like Big Boots, which is actually the same division as the Spoilers and Major Mistakes. So we'll see Kermit and Ganon's Gone Wild playing there. And again, really tight division, so who knows how it's all going to play out.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us here. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I have been Dante.
And a huge thanks, by the way. So, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And just a huge thanks to our tracker, literally Jen, who has been on top of this, was checking Alex's stream to pull stuff off of his tracker for all the items we missed him picking up, and who has nicely put the links to the runners in chat. So just a big shout out to her for all her help during this race.
Yeah, absolutely. We would be totally lost without the trackers, and I know I probably say that every time I do commentary, but it's the absolute truth, because I wouldn't be able to click all the buttons and watch the race and pay attention. So we do really appreciate that. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll take us out of here, but until next time, I've been Dante, and for Drosy, thanks so much.